Hey guys, Ryan Wilson here for Credit Rate. I've got a sick truck coming out for sale here. It is a 2006 H1 Alpha. So this one has a ton of history. It is a Gen 1. Gen 1's my favorite Alpha because it has the two-tone interior, two-tone seats. I really like the brown and black contrast, but we'll get into that in just a minute. This is the Alpha, and the Alpha has a Duramax LOY engine in there, so huge improvement over the 6.5 turbo diesel. It also has the Allison 5-speed transmission. So this is the last model year Hummer ever manufactured, which is pretty cool. Now this one has a tremendous amount of history. This is part of the Rod and Haul race team. This was one of the guys that was on the race team from 2003 until 2013, doing all kinds of free running, did a lot of photography for Rod Hall. He ended up buying this truck in 2006 and utilizing it as a chase vehicle for the team. So he did a lot of free running before the races, setting up the turns. Rod Hall would sit in the passenger seat and they go through the turns, and then Rod would write down the information on each turn that they were going to be coming through for the actual race. So subsequently, it went through a lot of maintenance upgrades over the years. So every time there was a race, they would bring it back in, replace all the ball joints, all the steering components, every single time. They also upgraded the shock system. These are our prototype shock systems that Rod Hall was developing for the military years ago. Bypass shocks, just amazing shocks. It runs really smooth down the road. But otherwise, it's a very straightforward, very clean truck. It has, top of my head, like around 110,000 miles or so. We'll get all the details on the website of all the specs. Really clean, really straightforward truck. And you get all of the service history, literally pages and pages and pages, inches thick of service work. All in all, very well kept truck. Let's go ahead and just do a quick walk around and I'll show you the inside of this. Okay, so part of the maintenance I always pick up on are tires. He's running 40-inch tires. They were replaced a little over 2 years ago, so you have a tremendous amount of life left. You're not gonna get any tire rot. You don't have to replace. Perfect. Replaced tires, good to go there. Two-piece rims. These are the Hutchinson ribs that came on the Alpha as a factory option. And great rims, very expensive too if you try to buy those aftermarket. So coming down the side here, he's got aftermarket rock skids here. They put this little bar on here. That was kind of popular years ago. Just clean, straightforward truck. So come on back here. Oh, the truck was repainted recently too. So they went through everything on it, repainted it, powder coated a bunch of accessories, powder coated the rock skids, cleaned everything up, and it just shows with the inches thick of paperwork that's on this truck and the detail work that's gone into keeping this truck up. This is definitely a very well-kept truck. On top of that too, I almost completely forgot, is all of the oil changes that have been done on this truck have been done with AMSOIL. And I am a huge fan of AMSOIL. AMSOIL is hands down the best 100% synthetic engine oil. Engines last a lot longer running AMSOIL. They just don't, the oil doesn't break down. The engines don't have the wear and tear that you see on traditional oils. And he's been diligent about replacing all of the oil with nothing but AMSOIL, which is awesome. So coming out of the back of the truck, he did upgrade the rear tire carrier with our tire carrier. And then again, as you can see, powder coated bumpers here. But again, all factory stuff, very clean, very straightforward. And then coming up the other side, again, there's not a whole lot on here as far as all the accessories. It's just a really clean truck. Really factory unmolested truck, which is kind of nice to see. So let's go ahead and jump inside and we'll show you what we have on the inside of the truck. Okay, so we're inside the truck. Again, I mentioned the two-tone finish on the Gen 1. They had a cream top, which is really cool. And then you have, this is my favorite right here, is the black seats with the brown piping and the brown inserts. It looks really, really cool. I dig that. And then you have the carpeting's in brown, and then the kick panels down here are all in brown too. I dig it. I like it. On the inside of the truck here, it's really straightforward. So this is the Alpha interior. It did come out in 2004 as a pre-Alpha truck. Still had the 6.5 turbo diesel engine in it then. But with the Alpha here, with the 6.6 Duramax, it really looks almost identical to the 2004, except for the shifter. So down here, this is a really nice upgrade they did. They switched these around. So you have the transfer case lever on the far right, and then the transmission on the left. This is a much more natural position versus reversed on the 2004, and prior years, the transmission was on the other side. And what would happen is, and it would happen to me every time, if you ever park in valet, I used to go out to Vegas every once in a while, always a nightmare because I didn't have an option not to go to valet half the time. I had to go to valet and I'd tell them what to do. And they'd always mix it up and grab a hold of the transfer case lever, because that's the natural first lever you're grabbing hold of, thinking that's the transmission, and it's not, and they'd shove it all over the place. Really frustrating, but the 2006 Alpha fixed that, so I really like the shifter upgrade. Otherwise, really clean interior. He did do a couple minor upgrades in additions to it. He put a full race radio down here, so this was used for communication with the Rod Hall race team. And it's still in place, still works. 150 watt Kenwood radio. He also has XM radio. This is the add-on. Back then, the head unit did not come with XM radio. You had to buy the add-on, which is right here. So kind of a blast from the past, so to speak. Very 2006 era truck. You also have a RAM mount off of this custom mount up here, so you can hook up a GPS on here. You can even do a laptop if you wanted to, whatever you want to out here. Kind of overkill for a cell phone, but you could. And then in the back is really the only other upgrades, which are some fender well racks. So let's jump back there and I'll show you what we got back there. So in the back of the truck, you have the storage racks up here. These are the fender well racks. Adds a lot of cargo, so it holds a ton of gear up here securely above fender walls. It's kind of dead space because obviously you're running 40-inch tires. The tires sit about here and they travel up into this wheel well a little bit. You have these fender well racks to put all kinds of gear up there. And then you have a fire extinguisher on this side. And that's it. Now, one of the things that you oftentimes get in an Alpha Hummer is the headliner fails. Very, very common problem. So it's typically the back that starts burst and then it goes forward. That's a sign of sitting out heat. It delaminates. The glue that AM General used would break down over time with extreme heat. And obviously the ceiling here is going to get the most heat. And when that happens, the glue would break down, the headliner would fall down. I would say, I don't know, 3/4 of all Alphas that come in here, if they have the original interior, that headliner's failed and we're replacing it. So this one doesn't have any issues. Everything's 100% there. Definitely a very well-kept truck. So that's it. It's a great truck. It's available now. And if you got any questions, shoot us a call. Be happy to help answer any questions. And hopefully this is the right truck for you. If not, we'll be happy to find the right truck for you. Thanks for watching. See you guys soon.